Hello and welcome to Easy English Tips Podcast, a place where you can relax, practice English listening, and learn something meaningful at the same time. Today, I want to share a personal story. It is the story about learning how to love myself. For a long time, I did not understand what self-love really meant. I thought loving yourself meant being confident all the time, or thinking you are better than others. But over time, I realized that self-love is much quieter and much deeper than that. It is about accepting who you are, even when you are not perfect. Today, I want to talk about the journey of discovering that. So take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin. Before I understood self-love, there was a time when I actually struggled with how I saw myself. Let me tell you what that time felt like. A few years ago, I was very hard on myself. Whenever I made a mistake, I would criticize myself. If something went wrong, I would immediately think, why did I do that? I'm not good enough. Other people are better than me. Maybe you have had thoughts like this too. Sometimes we become our own worst critic. We compare ourselves with others on social media. We see people who seem more successful, more confident, more beautiful, or more talented. And slowly, we start believing that we are not enough. At that time, I thought being strict with myself would help me improve. But instead, it only made me feel more tired and unhappy. After living with those thoughts for a long time, one small moment made me pause and think about everything differently. And that moment started with a very simple question. If my friend made the same mistake as me, would I treat them the same way? The answer was no. If my friend made a mistake, I would say, "It's okay. You tried your best. Everyone makes mistakes." But when it came to myself, I showed no kindness at all. That realization surprised me. Why was I kind to everyone else, but so harsh to myself? That was the moment I started thinking about self-compassion. That realization stayed in my mind for a long time. It slowly helped me understand something very important about being human. One important lesson I learned is that nobody is perfect. We often know this logically, but emotionally we still expect perfection from ourselves. We want to do everything right. We want everyone to like us. We want to succeed quickly. But life doesn't work that way. Every person you admire has also failed many times. Every confident person once felt insecure. Every successful person once felt lost. Understanding this helped me realize something important. Mistakes are not proof that we are bad. They are proof that we are human. Once I accepted that perfection isn't real, I started wondering how I could treat myself in a healthier way. And that's when I began taking some small steps. Learning to love yourself is not something that happens overnight. It is a slow process. For me, it started with very small habits. For example, I began talking to myself more kindly. Instead of saying, "I'm terrible at this," I would say, "I'm still learning." Instead of saying, "I failed again," I would say, "This is part of the journey." These small changes in language slowly changed the way I felt about myself. Another thing that helped was spending time alone. Not in a lonely way, but in a peaceful way. I would go for walks, listen to music, or sit quietly with my thoughts. When you spend time with yourself, you start understanding yourself better. As I continued this journey, I noticed something else that was quietly hurting my confidence. Something many of us do every day without even realizing it. One of the biggest obstacles to self-love is comparison. When we compare our lives to others, we often only see the highlights of their lives. But we don't see their struggles. Everyone is walking a different path. Some people succeed early. Some people take longer. Some people change direction many times. And that is completely okay. Your life does not need to look like someone else's life. Your journey is uniquely yours. When I slowly stopped comparing myself to others, I started seeing my own life from a completely different perspective. And that helped me understand something deeper about personal value. Another important lesson I learned is that your value is not based on productivity. You don't need to achieve something every day to deserve respect or happiness. Sometimes resting is important. Sometimes slowing down is necessary. You are valuable simply because you exist. This idea might sound simple, but truly believing it takes time. That realization led me to try something simple, but surprisingly powerful. One day I tried a small experiment. I asked myself, what if I treated myself like my best friend? If my friend felt sad, I would listen. If my friend was tired, I would tell them to rest. If my friend made a mistake, I would encourage them. So I began doing the same for myself. And slowly, my relationship with myself changed. Instead of feeling like my own enemy, I started feeling like my own supporter. Over time, this way of thinking changed my relationship with myself. But I also learned that self-love isn't something you achieve once and keep forever. The truth is, learning to love yourself is not a destination. It is a lifelong journey. There will still be days when you doubt yourself, days when you feel insecure, days when things do not go the way you planned. But self-love means not abandoning yourself during those moments. It means saying, I'm struggling today, but I'm still worthy. And that brings me to something I truly want to leave you with today. A small reminder that might help you on your own journey. If you are currently learning how to love yourself, remember this. You are not alone. Many people are on the same journey. Be patient with yourself. Growth takes time. Healing takes time. And learning to truly accept yourself may be one of the most important journeys in your life. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope this podcast helped you relax and practice your English listening. And most importantly, I hope it reminded you to be a little kinder to yourself. See you in the next episode of Easy English Tips Podcast. Take care and keep learning.